Your next comedian, he's been all over the state telling jokes. Everybody give a please warm welcome to Billy Campbell, everybody.
If you can't tell by the way I look, I was the one smoking a joint with your host. So anything he said past then, my bad. Actually, now that he mentions it, the other night I was over in Seattle and I was doing this show. And when they called me up on stage, they were playing music. And usually when they play music when you're at a show, they cut the music off as soon as you grab the mic. And that did not fucking happen. Which made it very awkward for the next 2 fucking minutes while the crowd's staring at me. And I'm like, And the DJ booth is way up high, so I got nervous and I started trying to tell the DJ to cut the music off. But I realized he's up high, so I'm going up higher as I keep trying to tell him. And eventually, I'm right here when he cuts the music off. And everybody's looking at me, Hitler salute the DJ. And I was like, fuck, it's downhill from here. My name is Billy Campbell. I do actually live in Bremerton. I've been doing this for about a year now. And it's actually a really strange hobby to pick up. More of a career, whatever. But I can honestly tell you, hanging out with comedians, I've never heard the term, I'm on new meds, so many times in my life. I actually just got a girlfriend. Thank you. I try not to say that too loud because she's still kind of a flight risk. The way we met was actually a very romantic story. We started talking on Tinder. When we first started talking, right, she noticed on my profile, I'm half Irish and half Mexican. And it's actually easier to just say I'm Leprechaun. But she noticed on my profile that, that I was mixed, and she was like, that's pretty interesting. I just did my 23andMe, and turns out I'm half Blackwood. And I'm looking at her profile picture, and I got to level with you. She'd get a sunburn from a nightlight. And I was like, well, you're still kind of cool, so fuck it, Pocahontas, let's go get a beer. You're the only one that heard that? Oh, it gets worse. So we're out on a date, Well, actually, I went to go pick her up first. And we were on our way out to the cars, and we were trying to figure out who's going to drive. And at that moment, this car drives by, and there's a couple in the front seat. And the girl obviously goes down, and the guy's face goes. And yeah, you know what's going on. I'm like, good for you, buddy. And she's like, oh, that's kind of sweet. I was like, well, I guess I'll drive. We got to the bar, we're hanging out, we're talking, and she was like, do you know any Spanish? And I was like, well, I know, honestly, I didn't get a lot translated when I was a little kid because Grandpa cussed a lot. So nobody's gonna tell me what fuck meant in Spanish. And honestly, he called me Joto Mijo until I was 23. And if you guys don't know any Spanish, that translates into gay baby. The other two sentences he taught me, and I think it's because he thought I was gay, was please don't rape me and where are my pants? And she asked me, she's like, why would you learn please don't rape me? And I was like, well, honestly, isn't please don't rape me a good fucking sentence to learn in any language? So me and Sacagawea Whitey have been dating for 6 months now. And I think she loves me because she pretends to be asleep before she farts on my leg a bit. And that is, we're a romantic couple. She's actually taller than me, and I've had to tell her more than once to not try and put me up on top of the counter before she kisses me. I met her kids. She has 2 daughters. First time I spent the night at her house, I woke up and they had drawn penises on my face. It was a little disturbing on how detailed the drawings were, too. I'm like, dude, you were fucking 12. Why is there veins on this thing? To be honest, if I get off this mic and my girlfriend is still here, I am going to be so surprised. Oh, man. I have 3 kids of my own. I have a 19-year-old son, a 15-year-old son, and a 14-year-old daughter. And I'm a little surprised I haven't lit any 3 of them on fire, because I'm kind of stupid. Raising kids, honestly, and you guys will learn this. First of all, the soft spot If you're gonna have a self-destruct button, you cannot put that thing out in the open like that shit. I was so scared I hit the reset button on my kids so many times. My first son is like my first apartment. I am not getting the security deposit back on that shit at all. I was raising by myself for the first 2 years when he was born, and I was just barely 18 myself. Like, he was born just before I turned 18. And so, like, I had no clue what to do, and I grew up in a ghetto-ass family. Like, honestly, there's a lot of criminals and gangbangers in my family, and that's just the fucking Irish side. And so when I realized that it was just gonna be me and him, I was like, all right, little buddy, I'm gonna have to change some stuff. I don't want you to grow up like me, so we're gonna move away from that crazy-ass family of mine. And I should probably quit selling pot. And I'm probably gonna have to stop puking every time I change a diaper. And judging by the fact that it's been 8 weeks since I had a solid poop, I'm probably gonna have to learn how to cook for the both of us. And when you're a kid and you do something wrong and you're in trouble and you need loving advice, you call mom. When you're a kid and you fuck up, you call dad. And like, when I was, 5 months into it, I had to call him up and I was like, Dad, I hate to farm this out to you, man, but it's been 3 days and William's got a Butterfinger stuck in his nose. And I got mine out 2 days ago, but he's starting to attract ants. And my dad just gave the best advice ever. He's like, you have reached my voicemail. Beep. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good night.